Okay, today's we're going to look at expansion patterns. So we've been doing expanding brackets, and if you have a look here at the pattern, so at the start we've got two brackets. So we've been been practicing that, how to expand them out. Sometimes if we see this pattern where we have the same things but the sign is different, we can quickly expand it just by knowing that it will always be the first term squared minus the second term squared. So let's have a look, and we'll look at the example here. So I'll do the first one like we would normally do it so you can see. So if we expanded it out like normal, we do x times x, which is x squared, and x times negative 8, which would be negative 8x. Then I do this one, 8 times x, which is plus 8x, and then I do 8 times negative 8, which is negative 64. So you can see these two terms in here cancel each other out. So I'd be left with x squared minus 64. So you can see that essentially it was the first term squared minus the second term squared, because 64 is 8 squared. So if we went on to do this second one where we've got 2x, so we do have the same thing but different signs. So I'm going to go, yep, that's one of the patterns, and I'm simply going to know it is the first term squared minus the second term squared. So if you do 2x squared, remember you've got to square the number 2. So 2 times 2 is 4, so it's 4x squared minus 9. Okay, and that would be your answer. So let's have a look at this last one. With this last one, even though the signs, it doesn't look exactly the same, but see how we've got positive 5. I could essentially rewrite this, and I could put the plus 5 at the front. So if I had 5 plus 3x, so really we don't need to have that plus there. So I've got the same thing. I've kept the signs that in front of them, so I could write that, and then I've got 5 minus 3x. Once I do that, I have the same thing and different signs, so I can go off and solve it using the pattern. So the pattern says that we square the first term, so 5 squared minus the second term squared. So 5 squared is 25, and remember we've got to square the number, so 3 squared is 9, so do 9x squared, and there's your answer. So this can save a lot of time, so it's quicker just to do that rather than do like this and do all the expanding out the brackets. Sometimes we need to be quicker in later years so that we can do other parts of the problem. Okay, and now a couple of other rules that we're going to look at is this perfect square rules. So you can see up here a plus b squared, so this is factorized form, and it will always expand out to a squared plus 2 times ab plus b squared. So and also remember, if you have that, that's the same as saying a minus b is the same as saying a minus b squared. Okay, so let's have a look at these examples. So if we have a look, so we essentially have the same thing here, times against each other, so I could write it like that. That's another way of writing this. Now, the pattern says that we square the first term. So if I have a look here, this is like the A, and this is like the B. So if I do that, follow the pattern, we square the first term, then we do plus 2 times the x times 1, that'll be the middle bit, and then we go plus 1 squared. So if you tidy that up, x squared is x squared, and then in here we've got plus 2x, and 1 squared is 1. So we can expand it out quicker. So now in this example 2, so 2x is like the A, and the 5 equals b. So if I was expanding it out, the rule says to square the first term, then add 2 times a times b, and then that'll be the middle bit, plus b squared. So if we fix that up, it'll be 4x squared plus 2 times 2 is 4x times 5, so that's 20x plus 25. So that's expanded. So it's much easier than doing all the expanding out, doing 2 brackets thing. Now we just got to be careful with what sign's there, because that will make a difference to what sign is in there. So because these were plus there, there was a plus. Now we're going to see, because this one is a minus, we'll see that second term being minus. So we're going to square the first term, and then it'll be minus 2 times the a times the b, and then we always plus the b squared. So remember, 4 squared is 16, so that becomes 16x squared. Then we're going to say minus. Now 2 times 4 is 8, times 5 is 40, so it'd be 40xy, and this will be 5 squared is 25, so plus 25y squared, and there's your answer. So obviously that is quicker than if I had to go 4x minus 5y and 4x minus 5y. It's quicker than me doing all the timesing out. I would have had to go to, 4x on there, that's 16x squared, and then I would have had to do 4x times negative 5y, which would mean negative 20xy. Then I would have done this one, there's another 20xy, and then it would have been plus 25y squared. Then I would have grouped the like terms, and you would have seen that we get the same answer as we do. So we're trying to teach you the patterns so that you can get there quicker and you don't have to waste too much time, because this becomes just a small bit of bigger problems later on.